she noticed that I wasn't pushing myself to excellence. And so she came up with this system called the match system, where for every minute that I read, I got a minute of video game time, a minute of TV time. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at first. I remember slaving away reading that book and like, oh, this is awful. And then I found my book, and that's all it took. I found my book, Rick Riordan, The Lightning Thief, and from there, I started diving into reading. I was reading all the time. I mentioned I got in trouble for reading. In middle school, I got banned from bringing books into class because I read so often during the lectures that they were like, "You're not paying attention."
Welcome back to Innovate or Evaporate. I'm your host, Toph Day. Today we have an incredible guest who embodies that spirit both on and off the field of innovate or evaporate. A tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles and passionate founder of KG's Kids Foundation. His path from a less recruited high school player to an NFL tight end with a detour through community college and a chance encounter that changed his trajectory is a testament to perseverance and seizing opportunity. Beyond football, his dedication to literacy through KG's Kids is truly inspiring. We're excited to dive into this story of overcoming adversity, finding his passion, and making a real impact. Kylen Granson, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
This is going to be a blast. We were talking before we got started here about all the touch points throughout your life. And I'd like to start off with, when you were younger, we were talking about literacy and you love to read, and then kind of your path with your passion of football. I think your mom was a teacher. And you were born in DeMont, Indiana, by the way, which I used to do tassel corn. Close to that, the old stomping grounds in Remington, Rensselaer. But let's start off with when you were a kid, you developed a passion for reading. Where'd that come from?
It didn't start. It wasn't just completely easy. As we were talking about, I grew up during the prime video game age. Like the new Xbox had just dropped, the PlayStation so I had both PlayStation and Xbox. I was playing games all the time. And my mom was a teacher, so she knew I was doing well in school. Like, I'd bring home my report card, have A's, but at home she didn't see, me studying like I should be, but I was in like grade school, but I digress. But
I always struggled with studying too.
I know, it's, once I get it,
Right.
But, so yeah, she noticed that I wasn't pushing myself to excellence. And so she came up with this system called the match system, where for every minute that I read, I got a minute of video game time, a minute of TV time. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at first. I remember slaving away reading that book and like, oh, this is awful. And then I found my book, and that's all it took. I found my book, Rick Riordan, The Lightning Thief, and from there, I started diving into reading. I was reading all the time. I mentioned I got in trouble for reading. In middle school, I got banned from bringing books into class because I read so often during the lectures that they were like, "You're not paying attention." But I had like an A+ in the class. So it's
So you're getting an A+ in class, and the teachers say you're not allowed to read.
Exactly. Then I was like, to counterpoint them, but they didn't like this, is I was like, "You're such a good teacher, I can half pay attention and get an A+, I can do both," but they didn't like that. So they would line up my books underneath the whiteboard, like a lineup, like, is this him? Is this the guy? Yeah.
That's insane. So we're going to get into more about KG's Kids and literacy here a little bit later. But what reading is, I got passionate about this issue probably a year ago. I started to see some really crazy statistics out there where, like in Indiana, I think it's 18% of third graders are not literate. And I started looking into that. And I think there's some studies that show fourth graders nationwide, only a third roughly are proficient in reading. In the 1960s, there was I can't remember the guy's name. I need to go look this up so I can recite his name. But he came up with a new style of reading that's based on memorization. And that's how we started to teach kids to read with memorization. We abandoned the old phonics. I learned how to read via phonics.
Same. You have a little phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little PVC pipe. You read to yourself?
Yeah.
You'd hear it?
Yeah.
I do that.
And so we all have friends today that grew up with the memorization techniques, and they don't talk about it because they're embarrassed, but like they don't really know how to read new material because
Mm.
they learn how to read off memorization.
Mm.
And now there's a big push to bring phonics back.
Yeah.
To how we learn to read. I think it's interesting. And math is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I learned memorization in math.
Yeah. Same.
And that's why I have a hard time helping my son with math today.
Exactly, because they're like, math doesn't change. It's the same. Yeah, no.
Right?
They changed PEMDAS to GEMDAS.
What's that about?
So PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now they do groups, which is like if there's parentheses here, you do those first, and then you do the exponent, which I was like, I mean, that's the same thing. But I guess whenever it was explained to me, that was different. And I was like, no, it's the same. But, yeah, I feel you on that one.
So you moved to Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're born in Indiana. You were here till 5
Mm-hmm.
years old. You moved down to the Dallas area.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were really good at football.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were not so good at football.
Yeah.
And then you start getting good at football again.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. What was that like?
So when I was younger, I'd always wanted to be a football player. Like my mom tells the story all the time. Before I was able to play, tackle football, I played flag. And before that, I played soccer. And she would always have to pull me aside and be like, look, I know you want to play football, but you cannot tackle the other kids while we're out here. And I'm like, all right, cool, Mom. I go blast the kid that had
like
the ball.
A freight train.
Yeah, like a freight train. I get kicked out of the game. I'm like, all right. So like football, ever since I could walk, that was what I wanted to do. And so, just by playing it with other kids, playing on the recess, I got pretty good at using my body. And, K through like 6th grade, I was really good. And then, everybody started hitting puberty. And, I was one of the later bloomers. And, I was in the weight room, lifting, not the best form and stuff. And so that's when I say I kind of I kind of plateaued while everyone else was building. And then my mom met my now dad, David, who's a strength and conditioning coach. And so that's where my plateau kind of ended. I started climbing again because he took me and was like, what's your dream? And I was like, I want to play in the NFL. And he was like, all right, we can do that. It's going to take a lot of work and it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be fun. Yeah. But if that's what you truly want to do, we can get after it and give you the best chance you can.
Like 6 a.m. workouts every day.
Like working out 3 times a day, every day. 5 a.m. is like the first workout. And then we have practice and then you have a workout during lunch and then you have a workout after school. Like every day, Monday through Friday, like robotically. But I just put myself in a place mentally where I was like, if this is what I want, this is what I have to do. And that's what ultimately allowed me to hit that
When
next
was it
level.
when you came back? Sophomore, junior year, or what?
Freshman year was like the last year I sucked, like it was really bad, and so that's pretty much when they met. And I remember my 40 my freshman year was like a 5.2, not very good. And then sophomore year was like a 4.7, so I cut half a second down, and I was actually looking like kind of jacked, you know. Before I had a little belly, now I was kind of yoked, and that kind of went on, but whenever I get to my story of my high school years, I went through like a lot of adversity with injuries, like broke both my arms, broke my collarbone, broke my thumb. Yeah, all this, broke my leg.
Holy cow.
My senior year, I hadn't played a full year of varsity football in high school. And so like leading up to senior year, I was like, all right, this is it. I gotta make my shot. Like I gotta really get after it this year if I want a chance again, a scholarship. And then 2 weeks before our first scrimmage, I break my leg. And I'm like, ah. And they gave me 1 day to pout and whine and complain about it. And we were in the weight room the next day. And so I was back at it. I was grinding away because we talked to the doctor. He's like, there's a chance you could come back. 6 games go by. There's 16 games total in the state of Texas if you go all the way to state. 6 games go by. I come back. I play 10 straight because we go to the state championship. We end up losing, but I earn a scholarship to Rice.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Man, that was a crazy time because I was like, I got to do this. I got to give it my all because if I graduate high school and I have any regrets about this, I'm going to think about it for the rest of my life till I'm gray and old, you know?
So like back to that concept of innovate or evaporate. So during that, I mean, all those injuries over several years, you're trying to get to college to play so that you can get to the NFL. There has to be self-doubt that creeped in multiple times.
Yeah.
What went through your brain when these injuries are happening? Talk to us about that self-doubt and like how did you overcome like just a feeling of all that weight on your shoulders?
It's like, really? Again? Really? Again? Maybe I'm just not built for that. I remember kind of jokingly, kind of seriously, I talked to my trainer. I was like, man, like, what if I have like a bone disease or something? Like, what if there's something actually wrong? Because I mean, it was like straight thumb, arm, leg, like collarbone. I was like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Is this like a sign that I'm not supposed to do this? So yeah, there was definitely a lot of self-doubt, but I'm very logic-based in my thinking. I'm like, okay, this major setback happened. The only thing I can realistically do is prepare myself for the next step. And what's the next step? Getting in shape to play whenever I'm not, broken. So that's what I did. I attacked my workouts that I could do that we had to modify heavily because working out with one arm, obviously there's going to be some atrophy on this side of my body. I can't really do a whole lot of things if I'm in a 90-degree cast. So how can I alter my workouts to work out some of the muscle groups so whenever I do come back, it isn't as, disruptive a change for my body to handle and has an easier time. And then the conditioning aspect. With a broken leg, I can't really run. So how am I going to condition? Oh, well, I'm just going to do a lot of battle ropes for a very long time until I'm absolutely gassed. Because when I come back to the field, they're not going to wait for me to be ready to play a 4-quarter game or a 5-quarter game if we go into overtime. Yeah. So I have to be ready. I have to set myself up. So I just, put my doubts to the side because I was like, if I want a chance, I can't be living with these right now. Yeah. So one-track mind.
So adversity hits, pause, assess.
Yeah, wallow for a day.
Take a day.
Wallow for a day. Yeah, absolutely.
Feel Have bad. Your moment.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you got to embrace that. Because then it makes you attack the next day harder.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I take all that wall and I'm like, no, I'm mad. I want to play. It's anguish. It's desperation.
So did you do anything? So that's the physical side.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do anything on the mental side? Like we talk about physical, working out, look good, etc. But there is a pretty big mental health crisis, it seems, in this country. And I don't know what the source of it is. I don't know if it's because everybody's been playing video games a lot or all the social devices and it's rewiring our brains to not be able to deal with real life. But like, is there anything you did to try to get your brain straight? Or was it the day of taking the time out for that day?
It was my day of wallow.
Yeah.
It was my day of wallow. But then also seeking respite in, my off time. Like when I was in break in between, not school, not working out, like taking a second, being like, okay, I'm going through a lot right now. Am I good? Am I all right? I'm going to read a book for 30 minutes. Can I do that? And then I would escape to my own little world. I'd read my book. And then I'd go back to class. I think it's important to listen to your body, whether that's mental or physical.
Is there anybody in that time period that you leaned on? They put their arm around you and said, hey, this is going to be okay. We're going to work through this. Anybody that you leaned on or that were any moments of like,
Yeah, my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah. Because he was the one working me out too. Yeah. So like that's why I said they gave me a day. He was like, take you a day. We're going to be back in there 5 a.m. So yeah.
How do you, so with that limited playing time, right? Because you miss a lot of games. So do you get a scholarship to Rice? How'd that work? How did you get a scholarship to Rice? Like you put together a montage of videos and they agreed to take a risk on you, right? With the injuries.
Pretty much.
How'd that happen?
So like junior year, I had done a camp. I'd done a bunch of camps, like in the summer.
Yeah.
Looked really good. I went to like an Ivy League camp and I went to a Rice camp, which was down in Houston. And that's where they originally saw me and they were like, hey, you look really good. You're running really good. You're catching the ball really good. We like you. We just need to see some film of you playing the football game, Yeah. Which I didn't have because before that year I had collarbone arms, plethora of injuries. So they're like, we just need to see some film. And I was like, all right. And so that's why heading into senior year, I was so jazzed because I'm like, okay, if I put some film together, I might go to, Rice. And I was talking to some other Ivy League, like I was actually at the Harvard visit, touring their locker room whenever I got the call that I'd been officially offered from Rice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was kind of like awkward because like, man, this is awesome. I gotta go.
I got a bird in the hand.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So then you went to SMU, walked on at SMU.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you switch?
So that was kind of another big decision time for me where I had to kind of self-assess on what my goals were for the future. And again, kind of going back to that piece where I was like, my goal had always been to play in the NFL, and I was going to do whatever it took to do that, no matter how hard that decision was going to be. And so my head coach at Rice, the guy who brought me in, he got fired after my second year. So I was like, ooh, not great.
Changes a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They bring in a new coach. He came from Stanford, power run type, offense, and I was a receiver at that point. And I was like, realistically, I have 2 years left of playing time. I still have my redshirt year, so I can sit out a year, but I have 2 years left. How am I going to spend those 2 years? Because it's different whenever you're going through college and you're like, man, like I've got this time. But then something like that hits you. It's like, man, I don't have much time. I have 2 years to accomplish this lofty goal that many aspire to and don't reach. How am I going to get there?
The percentage that makes any professional sport is so tiny.
Exactly. And I have to play in a competitive room, in a competitive space, in a competitive conference to show those teams that I can compete. And so I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do that here because they're going to go through a whole rebuilding phase. I don't know who they're going to bring in for the offensive standpoint. Like, what's their philosophy? It's not going to mesh. If I'm truly going to give this the best shot that I've got, I'm going to need to go somewhere where I believe I have the best chance to play. And frankly, somewhere I want to spend the last 2 years of my playing career at, if it is the final 2 years.
Yeah.
And so that's when I took a step away and I took a gap year and I went to community college for the spring semester. And that was when I was just working out. I mean, we want to talk about self-doubt.
Yeah.
That's self-doubt because I just walk away from a scholarship.
Right.
Like, that's guaranteed money. That's guaranteed degree. And so there was a lot of thoughts going through my mind. I kind of took a step back from my friends even. I was like, listen, I was kind of breaking up with my lot because I was like, hey, listen, love you guys. You guys are incredible. Great teammates. I've enjoyed my last 2 years. But like, if I'm going to do this, I got to like take a step back. I got to really isolate myself, kind of like you were talking about, and put myself in the mindset that wherever I do end up, I'm going to take over when I get there. And so chance encounter, I'm actually at the spring practice of UT, watched my buddy Sam and him practice, Sam Ellinger. We went to high school together. I was watching their practice, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, what are you doing, stranger? And I look over, and the head coach who got fired at Rice was pulling up in his truck because him and the coach at the time, the head coach for Texas, what was his name? Herman, you're right. Tom Herman. They had coached together. And so he was just pulling up. And of course, I got to talk with him. He's like, well, have you ever considered going to SMU? Like, I know Sonny up there, and you probably fit in perfect. So I go on a visit. I love it there. And they're like, we don't have any scholarships right now. You can walk on. Hopefully something will open up. I'm like, well, I think this is my best chance. So I decided to walk on.
So you brought up a couple of things there that hit really hard with me. One is sometimes to achieve your goal in life, you got to take a temporary setback. And I used to work with a chief scientist at one of the companies I had. And when he joined us, he took a step back. He took a pay cut. We were a startup. We couldn't afford to pay him what he was making before. But where he wasn't going to get them where he wanted to be. And so he took a risk. He took a risk on us and what we're trying to build. Took a step back, took a pay cut, and then he ended up. And I see this as a badge of honor. He worked with us for several years, and then he went and started his own company. And then he's going to do incredible things. He's now running all the AI for JMI, which is a big growth equity fund, multi-billion-dollar fund. But he took a massive risk, right? How do you think about that? I just love that. Like sometimes in life we get so focused on getting to there and we might blame or be frustrated with the current situation, and we should just be able to blast through, when sometimes we got to take a little detour in life to get back on track. You ever thought about that way?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I think it's like waves of an ocean. It's up and it's down. It's up and it's down, but you got to ride the wave. But when it comes to risk, obviously it was a big risk leaving that guaranteed scholarship and chasing something.
Jumping off a cliff?
Absolutely. I had no idea where I was going to go. There was no thought. I was like, I need to do something though. I know if I stay here, I'm not going to be happy. So yeah, kind of like the no regrets lifestyle. Because if I didn't do that and I stayed there, maybe I could have made it, maybe, but I wouldn't have felt good about my decision.
Yeah.
And
did you ultimately get a scholarship with SMU?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did it take a year or 6 months or 18 months?
It was in the spring. I actually got
after that first year.
Yeah, I actually got a grant that paid for that first semester, and then I got put on scholarship.
So then you also mentioned, hey, I know you, right? Mm-hmm. That reminds me of relationships in life, right? And so like not burning bridges and
small world
and being deferential to people. It's a small world, right? Like the sports industry, every industry is small, right? The relationships. How did you think about that? So of course you want to do great in football and excel, but there's also the human side, right? And so did you think about that consciously, like building relationships with coaches or trainers or folks as you're going through that journey, and how those ultimately, like life is full circle, it seems like, right? Stuff always comes back around in the future.
Absolutely. I think a lot of it happens organically with coaches and training staff because I'm a naturally curious person.
Yeah.
So I'll ask questions about whatever your job, like if I'm doing a rehab thing, I'll be like, hey, okay, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you choosing that modality to do that? Okay. That makes sense. No, I'm just curious, and then like you build off on conversations, ask questions, get to know people, pick the coach's brain about why they decided to coach. Like, was it just something that happened once you were done playing football? It's getting to know people. And then just building off of that, eventually you're going to run into somebody that knows them.
Yep.
Or you're going to be like, oh, you went there? Do you know so-and-so? I'm like, oh, yes, I do know so-and-so. So it is kind of like who you know, not what you know all the time.
I literally show my son today still texts that I get every once in a while. And probably 6 months ago, I got a text from a guy and was asking me about somebody that was at Purdue at the same time I was in the same major. Hey, do you know this guy? Was he a good guy back in college?
Yeah.
Because he was interviewing him.
Oh, wow.
And so like I literally, my son didn't believe me that relationships and like what you do today, like it matters later on. And so I just try to show him real examples sometimes, but like it matters because people call people. Hey, right? You know Toph, you know Kylen, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's talk about NIL real quick. That didn't exist when you were in college, right?
I say this all the time. I missed out on the golden years because the year after I transferred, I had to sit out.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the reason I didn't earn a scholarship as quickly.
Yep.
The next year, they changed that rule, so you no longer had to sit out. Missed that one. The year after I came out to the NFL, NIL comes out.
12 months off twice.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I should have timed that.
What do you think about NIL? I don't have really a big opinion on it. I think it's kind of interesting and fascinating to see all this stuff unfold. And it's a massive college football, just a massive industry. Do you think NIL is good for the sport? You think it's bad for the sport? Indifferent?
I think it's good for the student athletes. Yeah. Because for a long time, you weren't getting paid nothing.
Yeah.
Putting your life on the line for a scholarship. And, some of those scholarships are worth more than others. So I think it's good. Yeah. Absolutely. Jealous.
Actually, I just thought about this. I still probably have 4 years of eligibility left. Maybe I can go back and play.
You could, maybe. That'd be pretty cool.
In like, what's that sport where you shuffleboard? What's that thing called? Anyways, they do it in Canada, the ice.
Oh, curling?
Curling. Maybe I could go do curling or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. So then you come out of college, and now here's the moment. You've been working on this for a decade, basically all your life, 18 years.
Yep.
What happens? How do you get in the NFL?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, train really hard, work really hard, know the right people, study your craft, and then a lot of it, the innovation aspect of my football game and a lot of times the innovation isn't something I'm doing differently in my routes. A lot of it's my training regimen or how I'm eating or how I'm approaching film. So every year I tried to step back and be like, okay, I liked what I did here. I didn't like what I did here. How can I refine this to make me a better person, make me a better player, whether it's on the field or off the field? And then I took that every single step of the way, really more so in college, because that's when that more mature mindset came into play. And eventually that led to me getting my opportunity. I balled out on the field. And then once I got rookie year, made it through camp, then it was just be a sponge, soak up whatever you can from whoever you can, be an observer, be a fly on the wall, watch what people are doing in the weight room, watch what they're doing in the training room, and then kind of take that amalgamation of just information and condense it down and put it into a me shape and then put it in practice.
Is there somebody did you get drafted?
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you get drafted?
Fourth round. Pick 127.
127.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you've been in the league for how long? You were with the Colts?
4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you came in the league,
COVID.
Oh, you came in during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
The second year of it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So was there somebody that kind of took you under their wing?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
Jack Doyle.
Yeah.
Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my older brothers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love watching those guys play.
Mm-hmm.
So what, can you share any funny stories? What's the locker room like? There's got to be a little bit of roughhousing and hazing, or I'm saying hazing in a fun way.
Yeah, there's no
funny stories?
There's no real hazing like I'm sure back in the old days.
Not bad stuff, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
Fun stuff.
Fun stories. There's rookie singing, of course. Every training camp has that. We had the rookie talent.
Impromptu, or you work on your song?
I had my song picked out. I did Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I already knew that was going to be my song. I was like, I can nail that one. I can nail that one. I got claps. A lot of people, it all's in effort.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are going to be doing a rookie show, it's about effort and presentation. You don't have to be the best, but if you go in and you absolutely lay it out there and give it your star shot, you will get claps, or at least laughs, and that's probably similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least you're not getting booed, and then you have to do it again.
What were one of your biggest surprises, like going into the NFL, like the regiment? I remember years ago listening to Bill Polian talk about like what his year looked like. Mm-hmm. I think he was if I remember correctly, I think he might have been the GM. I think it was the GM of the Colts. Mm-hmm. And I had this kind of perception that in that role, you've got this entire organization, and my perception was that he wasn't like on the road in the off season, like basically every day, or even during the season traveling to go to college games. I just figured that was other folks in the organization, scouts or whatever. His regiment was insane. Mm-hmm. What surprises, like from a difference of the day-to-day lifestyle at that level, where you're like, oh wow, this is another gear.
Mm-hmm. Really, just even when you're not in the building, you're kind of in the building, because even on your day off, you have to do some film study because you have to prep. Because Sunday, the game, obviously, usually. Monday, that's when we lift and we debrief on what we did. And then Tuesday's your off day. Well, Tuesday, you can just sit around, do nothing. But are you going to be ready for Wednesday when you're installing everything? That's your first practice of the day. And you're going through all your meetings, you're installing it now. So you're going to do some film study, and then you're going to be like, maybe I should get a little workout in. So you're going to do a little work. It's like, it just bleeds over into all your life. So yeah, it is truly from July 21st when training camp starts for me. It's going to be from then until February. And then even then you get like a month or two off, and then it's right back, the cycle starts all over again. So
in that month or two off, are you truly taking it?
Yes.
Off?
I'm truly taking it off.
So like light workouts, or?
Yeah. Like flexibility.
Yeah.
Range of motion.
Yeah.
But giving the body a chance to chill
let
out.
Your body, just chill.
Because I remember going through, when I was at Rice, I took a nutrition class with she was the nutritionist for the Astros and the Texans for a bit, Roberta Anding. I love that class. It was incredibly interesting. But she was like, you would not believe the amount of trauma that the human body goes through when you're an NFL athlete.
Right.
And the fact that you go 1 week from taking like repeated car crashes multiple times a game.
Right. I've heard like 4 or 5 car crashes a game.
Exactly. You're having 4 or 5 of those. And then a week later, you're having 4 or 5 more. And then a week later, you're having 4 or 5 more. And then a week later, you're having 4 or 5. And if you play all the way up, you're 20 plus games.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. So you have to take a step back, give your body time.
So you were one of the first to embrace the Guardian helmet.
Yeah.
What was that like? When it came out, you're like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Just full stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As soon as they're like, you can wear it during the games. Because, I mean, a lot of people were like, oh, it looks dumb. And, oh, I bet it's like super heavy. I'm like, no, it's like light. I don't even really feel it. The only time I knew it was there is when I hit somebody. I'm like, oh, that felt softer than you.
Really? So you can tell a significant difference.
You can tell a little bit of difference. Yeah. It's not like world like, oh my gosh, like I don't feel like I'm getting hit. But there's definitely some edges taken off. And I remember I was trying to convince other people to do it because I'm like, concussions, like they didn't exist when I was playing football. And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, this is like the thing that's getting y'all. And it's like, all right, so they're allowing us to, use this medical technology. It's gotten about a couple of years of data behind it that's saying, hey, this is reducing, concussions, like at a very, not small rate. Why would I not be a spokesperson for it? Because thank goodness, we finally have a somewhat of an answer, and now it's kind of spurred along this innovation of helmet technology, where the helmet I'm going to wear this year is actually the equivalent of a helmet and a Guardian cap, actually maybe a little bit better. So it's
it's built in within the helmet.
It's built in the helmet, yeah. So now, like,
this is what I love, right?
Exactly.
Innovation, like it starts with something that might look a little different that we're used to, but then you continue innovating on that and make it into the helmet itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that helmet bigger?
It looks bigger, but it doesn't feel bigger. Yeah. Because some helmets look quite large. Yeah. But I would say it's in the middle ground. It's a tasteful amount of protection, I would say. But then again, I got clowned for wearing the Guardian cap, so
How many people are going to wear this new helmet?
Everybody? I feel like quite a few. Yeah. Like in the locker room in Philly, I know quite a few people are wearing them.
And you get to choose as a player?
Yeah, it's up to you because they have the sheet that's got like a list of helmets. It's got like green, yellow, red. Red, outlawed. Can't wear those. Unsafe. Yellow, wear it at your own risk. It's about to be phased out. It's about to be outlawed.
Why would I choose that as a player? That one.
Personal preference.
Just the feel, weight, whatever.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Style.
Gotta look good.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Why do some players not wear various pads? Like it looks like they're not wearing
their knee pads.
Their knee pads or
they don't get hit in the knees that often.
Yeah.
So like corners, they don't get hit in the knees that often.
That often
they get
is
blocked.
A key phrase.
Yeah. So I mean, I get hit in the knees a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm running the ball. So
Yeah.
But also I think you get a little added mobility if you don't have you can kind of feel when your pads are down here versus up here. Yeah. Comfortability type thing. Yeah.
All right. So you meet Daisy Foco. Pronounced that correctly, right?
Yes, you did. Great job.
How'd you meet Daisy?
Friend of a friend? Nah, we met through Tinder. Crazy world of modern dating.
I've tried that. It never worked for me.
No?
No.
Never did? Well, you got to find the right one.
Yeah.
Because it's changed. Because I talked to some friends and they're like, whoa, Tinder is not what it used to be. I'm like, really? Because I thought that was like one of the first ones. Yeah. So we met through there. And been dating 7 years as of yesterday.
Yep.
Oh, wait, what's today? 3rd? 2 days ago. There we go.
Wow, look at that. That's good that you remember the date.
Hey.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot.
There's a few dates we have to lock in our brains, right, as guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you all meet. You've been dating for 7. You're engaged now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now, does she live in the same city you live in?
Mm-hmm.
And she's an influencer?
Mm-hmm.
And so, what is she passionate about?
She's passionate about history.
History?
Yep. Me and her both love history. She's a history buff like me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I noticed the older I get, the more I crave history. I did not crave it as a kid in K through 12 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But now I just crave it.
If you don't learn it, you're doomed to repeat it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So how do what do you all? So I'm kind of curious how this parlays back into. So we're going to head towards KG's kids, right? And reading, literacy. How do you? She's passionate about KG's kids, I'm sure, right? Loves what you're doing with that.
It's actually interesting because she brings a little augment to that because she is very heavily dyslexic.
Oh,
so
really?
she struggles to read.
Yep.
And I know that, a lot of times for kids who do struggle with reading, there's an underlying issue there that's probably due to that, due to dyslexia. And I believe here in Indiana, we have a problem with dyslexia. And like we have the ability to say, this kid may have it. But then other than that, we have no other system set up within our school system.
So we don't do anything to be helpful.
Yeah. They need extra time. They need, more practice. They need extra time in the, the lab. And I feel like that's an interesting aspect because, of course, we're talking about raising literacy rates, but, that's an extra element that, we can add that to our regimen. Like, okay, how do we help kids who not only don't have access, but when they do have that access, they also struggle to read? Yeah. So how can we build in support systems around those kids? And I feel like that's how it's added to our reach on that aspect.
So I have some friends who have dyslexia, and they're brilliant. They're so their creativity, like the way they think, is fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think like all of us have different brains, different skill sets, physical, mental, etc.
She's got 7+ patents.
Yeah.
Damn.
7 patents. Look at there.
Yeah. You can't
I only
not
have
love
one,
reading.
so I'm a loser.
What? No, you're not. No.
7 patents. That's awesome. You are filing for a patent. Have you filed yet?
I believe it is being filed. Yes.
Do you have the title memorized? Because it's a long title. These are always long titles.
Sorry.
I don't remember the title of the one that we did either.
Yeah, I got you. All right. The title of the invention: coordinate mapped memory architecture for proximity-based data retrieval in neuromorphic systems.
So,
confidential. I'm not allowed to talk to.
Right. So it's touching neurology, neuroscience. Are you working with a neuroscientist or? Okay, so we can't talk about that yet. So once you get that thing filed and approved, you got to come back and tell us all about it. What you're going to do with that?
I'd love to. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
He's my co-inventor. He's preparing my press release because he's like, obviously you're going to want to talk about it. I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about it.
I can't wait. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where'd you meet your co-inventor?
Actually, Daisy's dad.
Really?
He's a patent attorney and chemical engineer and professor at Stanford.
And so Stanford.
Yeah.
So what do you all talk about with KG's kids? Like how do you so talk to us about KG's kids. Like that's your passion from childhood. How'd you start that? And where are you at now on that journey?
Yeah, so started I want to believe it was my last year at SMU. Kind of had a little bit of a platform as a collegiate athlete.
Yep.
My parents were still teaching, so anytime I would go visit their classrooms, be like, oh my God, that guy, he's really cool. He's a football player and he loves to read. And so like seeing that, like that small impact was like, why don't we build this up? Because, that was finally the year that I was like the NFL aspiration, like wasn't just like a dream. It was actually kind of becoming a reality.
Become real, yeah.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, so if I get to this point where I have this much bigger platform, what is my philanthropic, identity as a player? What am I going to identify? What's my cause? And I'm like, something I'm really passionate about, reading. And I can't think of a better thing than, getting kids into reading at a very early age because it helped me get to my goals. And so, my parents and I, we were like, if I am the case study and I was a success, how can we copy and paste this in whatever field the children want to study, whether they want to be an architect, whether they want to be an engineer or a doctor, whether they want to go into writing, whatever it is, reading can help. So how can we foster that love of learning? And so we started up that year, just doing it in some classes, doing like some book donations, classroom libraries in Texas. And then when we got up to Indy, we actually started doing much bigger projects. We started doing KG's Carnival books where kids would come in, they would get free books. They would get to, I believe, get 5 books And then at night, we would have a like kind of like a field day. We'd have a field day. We'd invite the community to come out, have different games, bounce houses. Just a fun time. I'd be there. My family would be there. We'd hold that. And now we're adding even more stuff. We have STEM nights where, we have people come out. We do STEM projects. We read, and then we do a STEM project. Then we read, we do a STEM project. So our outreach has grown significantly since we've been here, and it's only continuing to grow. And it's been a lot of fun.
What's the age range of those kids that you're touching?
We've done anything from like K through 7th grade, 8th grade. We haven't gotten to high school yet because I know that's the age where I start to become less cool. But we're really focusing on the foundational piece in that aspect. Yeah.
Do you think that so when I graduated college, we just got emails. In college, we got emails, but nobody used them. They didn't know what to do with them.
Right.
And so, well, I'm going to age myself, so I'm not even going to talk about the video game side. But I wonder if, like, so reading, cursive writing, like there's a real thing there where it connects our synapses in our brains. Like, there's all kinds of studies about that. We've abandoned cursive writing in schools.
I remember having to learn it. I was never very good at it. My handwriting was bad.
Oh, my handwriting's awful. Print, cursive, just awful.
Yeah.
I used to not get good grades in handwriting. There's a lot of kids that don't know how to sign their name because they never learn cursive writing. And it seems like we've and I think the AI revolution, it's wonderful. There's so many positives. But it seems like we've abandoned the thought that there are some basic skills as a human. We're not robots. We still are human, and we will never be robots. And I'm curious on your thoughts. Like, Australia passed a law that social media, that kids can't have social media accounts until I think they're 16. I think it is. How do you think about that? With being passionate about reading and should we? And there's been a little bit of talk about this in the United States. But if we're used to doing this and everything's done for us, then these synapses, we don't do cursive writing, like reading from a digital device is different than reading from a book. How do you think about that?
That's something me and my fiance, we've discussed a lot, because obviously raising a kid in this day and age there's going to be a lot of things that, we're going to have to tackle. And that's one of the things. We have a lot of friends who are influencers, content creators. And we talk to them like, hey, like, how are you going to approach like kids and your children when they're growing up? And I feel like there's a very broad overall topic when it comes to content creation.
Yep.
And so when it comes to kids, it's like, okay, I can't completely eliminate the screens because, a little bit of screen time is good. That's fine.
Right. Yeah.
When do we draw that line?
Yeah.
Okay, is it an hour a day? Is it an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Is that what content? Are they having a phone? Are they texting? And that's just something that, eventually that's up to the parents to limit. And then also going back to the education piece, the cursive, the reason that's all changed is because we're changing the definition on what the basics of learning are.
What the basics are.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like with AI, tech, we have iPads in classrooms now. Do you really need to know how to do cursive if I can just type it? I can just change the font.
Yeah.
No, you don't really need that anymore. So it's just a crazy time, and it's going to be up to the individual, like, what they believe, is there's no limits on tech. There is limits on tech. And then, the AI piece, I feel like that's another difficult one, because, and when you're a young kid, you ask a lot of dumb questions. You ask a lot of crazy questions, but that's where that creativity, that imagination comes in. And then when you read a book, like, that's why I love reading, is because anytime I go see a movie and I see the characters that I read, I'm like, they don't look like that.
Right, exactly.
The world,
You've already mapped them out in your head, right?
I've mapped it out. I've got the world map. It looks nothing like what I imagined. So that's why a lot of times I'm like, book is always better than the movies, because whatever you create is your story. It's your head. It's your imagination. There's no way the screen's going to capture that. And so that's why I feel like reading at an early age fosters that imagination.
Yeah.
And then it makes you want to create your own stories, whether you're writing, whether you're designing, or whatever it is you choose to do. It creates that creativity.
There's a study that NASA did, and they rolled it out in like the 1960s. And I can't remember how many kids they did it on, but it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to find creative geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
And for self-serving reasons, not in a bad way, but in a good way. But they wanted to try to find the future, folks that they wanted to hire to help the space program or whatever. And so the first time they tested these kids, like in kindergarten at 5 years old, that test indicated that 98% of them were creative geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
They continued to use the same test with the same group all the way until they were 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were 25 years old, I think it was like 4% were considered creative geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whatever we're doing, we tend to suck the creative genius out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like there has to be a better way. Like the days of being in rows and columns physically sitting in the classroom, it seems like those days are over.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't foster creativity in the modern world.
No.
That's probably a whole nother podcast.
That is a whole nother podcast. How to tackle the education issue.
Exactly. So, all right, well, let's talk about life after football. So how do you see, and by the way, if people want to learn more about KG's Kids, that's kgskids.com. So go there, check it out. I'm sure people can donate some money right there on the website.
Donate some money, donate some time. Yeah, absolutely.
So life after football, have you started thinking about that yet, on what you want to pursue?
A little bit. I put some money aside. I've got other creative interests. Eventually, I want to write a book. I'm working on it right now. I'm in the world building stage. Not like a kid's book. I'll probably write a kid's book, but I want to write. I got a whole. My favorite genre is fantasy, so I've got a whole fantasy kind of sci-fi thing going on. I'm writing out right now. So that's like a passion project. Like that's for me. That's not even really for profit. That's something I wanted to do. So I want to write a book at some point.
Would it be a series? Is that a one-off book, or is it?
It's going to be a series. Yeah, it's going to have. I've already got the sequels.
You're inventing the next Game of Thrones.
No, it's going to be better than that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I want to do that, and then obviously keep KG's Kids going. It's obviously a much needed initiative, not only here but everywhere. So the bigger we can grow that, the better.
Is your focus with KG's Kids right now, is that more central Indiana as a whole, or regional, national, or where's the focus?
We focus more on Indiana because that's where I've been the past 4 years. Now with me going to Philly, maybe we'll explore going elsewhere. But I wanted to make sure that the schools here that we were impacting, that we weren't just up and leaving them high and dry, because we've done a lot of good work here. We've developed a lot of good relationships, and we want, the teachers and school districts to feel, safe, reassured, like, hey, listen, we're not going to go anywhere. We're still doing stuff here, okay? But eventually, if we could get it nationwide, that'd be incredible, Awesome. But so for right now, just here, but to be continued.
This has been awesome. I love having these conversations because I learned so much, right? And reminders, right, of what's important in life. I just absolutely love it. All right, well, we're going to go into rapid fire.
All right.
And there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
And you can pass or talk for an hour or talk for one word. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But so what is one thing in your industry that you think people should stop doing?
In my industry that people should stop doing. Can we come back to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. We can come back. What is what's one process or habit that you think leads to the best ability to disrupt or innovate yourself?
Ooh, the ability to be self-critical, but not self-destructive, because it's very easy to spiral down being self-destructive and tearing yourself down and feeding into that. Having a healthy amount of self-doubt is not a bad thing, because it trains your brain to ignore it, but not ignore it, but be fueled by it. That self-doubt, because you can hear a lot of voices from the outside, but at the end of the day, the best motivator is me, because I know what makes me tick. And that little self-doubt I have, I've gotten really good at using it to fuel myself for whatever it is. So that would be my...
That, you just gave me chills. That's powerful.
Oh, yeah? You like that?
I love that.
Okay, cool.
Can I steal that? I'll give you credit. But
Yeah, sure. You can steal it.
Yeah. So you can be self-critical, but don't be self-destructive, and leverage self-doubt to be fuel. So,
yeah,
that's powerful. I love that. If you could solve one problem in the world with innovation, what would it be?
Literacy.
Literacy.
Yeah. Get everybody reading again, because I mean, you solve a lot of problems if people are well read.
Yeah, 100%. All right, one thing in your industry or anything in life, like one thing that you've experienced, one thing that you think people should stop doing, or the reverse. What's one thing you think people should start doing?
Start doing? Well, that's obvious. I think people should start reading. I think people should stop. I think stop believing in what is portrayed to you through social media. Because I feel like that's one of the things, is that people believe that whenever they scroll through their posts and they're looking at people going on expensive trips, expensive things, like, no, they're not really living. Like, this is a curated post that they decided to put up. Listen, live your life, be happy with yourself. Because a lot of times you look at that phone, you start scrolling, you're like, man, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Oh man, my life. Yeah. But I fall into that, where I'm like looking at billionaires in Monaco. I'm like, man, I wish I had a yacht that big. You know what I mean? But my path is my path, and so I think if we stay away from our screens a little bit, enjoy the company around us, I think that's.
I think that is so powerful, because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I hear people start to realize that thing. They get sucked into this, oh my gosh, I'm somehow less than because look at that perfect family or whatever. Well, that's just one little snapshot, curated thing.
And my fiance is a TikTok creator. So, of course, she has to keep up with the time. So she kind of has to scroll. And I kind of got to drag her out of her little depression spot, because she's like, oh my God.
You're like, baby, you're crushing it. You're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing a great job, And that's the other part. You get comments. You get people who come in and like tear you down. And it's like, you get into the dead internet theory. That's a whole nother podcast.
What's that about?
That a good percentage of it's kind of multifaceted now with the explosion of AI. Most of the people that you talk to on the internet are not actual, like, real people. They're AI or bots.
That's going even more and more.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're saying like 95% of content in a year or so is going to be AI generated. Right. Because why would I pay a film production studio if I can just have a guy type up a script? And
it's pretty fascinating.
Exactly. Innovation gets kind of scary after a point, but you just got to learn how to control it. Control chaos.
Control chaos. That's a great phrase. Kylen, this has been awesome.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Thank you for joining the show. I've learned a ton. You've made me think differently about a few things. And I'm stoked to continue to watch your journey. Congratulations on all your success.
Absolutely.
You get a lot of fun. I think at this moment in time right now, when I talk with like high school or college students, man, I wish I was like 25 years old again. Like it's just all the things that we can do now, so much more cost effectively, more efficiently. I mean, the future is it's going to be such an insane fun ride.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
These 27 years I've lived through a pandemic. I've lived through so many things, the turn of a century. Yeah, it's been a fun time. I'm looking forward to the future.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kylen Granson, thank you for joining Innovate or Evaporate. For all the listeners out there, go check out KG's Kids, kgskids.com, kgskids.com. That is KGS, KIDS.com. Check it out. And if it stokes your passion, pop in a donation or volunteer some time. That's a critical mission.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, until next time, we'll see y'all soon.